Hi everyone, welcome to BISP Trainings. My name is Faiza Alam, a NetSuite Functional Consultant at BISP Solutions. In today's session, we will learn about how to create a vendor record and how to add a contact under that vendor record. So first we will know about what is a vendor. So a vendor is a term that is used to describe any supplier of goods and services that can either be a company or an individual. It means I would say that vendor is not limited to any person. It can be a company also. Let's take an example over here. Like if we take a laptop of Intel, then that company will be a vendor for us. So similarly, as it is providing us the supply of goods. Similarly, if we go into a showroom or a shop for buying a tablet, so that person will also come under our vendors list. So it is not limited to any person. It can be an individual or a company as well. So the ultimate aim of the vendor is to sell the goods and services to the customer. So vendors is not concerned with the selling of goods only, but it is also concerned with providing services like if we take a broadband of Airtel, so then that will come under the services as we are paying as we are paying them for the internet charges. So that will also be coming under our vendors list. Vendor is responsible for receiving and maintaining the order and also for ensuring proper knowledge of goods and services. If we move ahead towards the types, or we can say if we want to know about the examples of vendors, so there are very many kind of vendors like B2B. They are dealing with under the B2B or B2G or B2C, from which B2B and B2C are the most common. So if we take B2B type under consideration, so when the transaction of purchase and sale of goods and services takes place between two business entities, that will be coming under the B2B type. Moving towards the next type, which is B2C. So it is a business to customer or consumer. So when the transactions or dealings are held between the companies, between the business and its customer, then that will be coming under the B2C category. So we are having these kind of vendors. So moving on to the NetSuite application, in order to create a vendor record in the NetSuite application, we will be going under the list, over to the relationship, and over to the vendors and new, as we want to create a new vendor. So here we can see a new vendor window has opened up before us. Some details are required to be provided. The first thing you are seeing in under the primary information is the vendor ID type, whether it is a company. I have told you that vendor can be a company or an individual. The first thing, before providing the name and other details, we have to change the form from custom to standard. You can see that this is a custom form. We will be taking here the standard vendor form. So yeah, now we can provide the required details. So custom form has been taken. We have to provide the company name, like I will be taking here Excel Limited. If any web address is required to be given, we can provide it over here. category, if we want to provide any category to this particular vendor, like I'm providing here the production category, you can see the company is already been taken over here. If we want to mention any comments, we can provide it. The next under the next tab we are having is the email, phone address. These are the additional information if we want to provide any email ID, phone number, alternate phone number, fax. These all things can be provided over here. Under the classification, we have to select the primary subsidiary, which is a mandatory field over here. So here I am taking the BISP UKHQ. You can see that the resource allocation approver name is already been here. If we go down under the line items, so here we are having the subsidiary, as we have selected the subsidiary above, so it is already been populated over here. Under the relationship, if we want to provide any contact, we will be covering this in our next I would say the next phase. So if we want to provide any contact for this particular vendor, we can provide its contact, job title, subsidiary and all. uh, if we go into the communication, so under the communication we are having the phone calls. If we want to provide any phone calls to any particular person, we can mention it over here. If we under the task sub tab, if we want to assign any task for memorization, we can provide those tasks over here. Under the events, like any meetings, if we want to schedule any meetings, so we can provide it over here. And if we talk about the files and user notes, so if we want to attach any file from our system or any agreement relating to that vendor, so we can attach those files over here. If we move towards the address tab, so here two addresses are usually taken, like address for shipping and billing. So both of them are usually marked as yes. You can see that the check mark is here, and here under the default billing, yes is marked over here. So if we check this box, we have to provide the address for it, like for shipping and billing, we have to provide the address. For that, we click on this edit tab. So you can see a small window has opened up over here. We have to provide the necessary details and click on OK, and that address will be saved for the shipping and billing. Under the financial sub-tab, we have to provide the information relating to the accounts, like we can see that the company name has already been here. If we want to provide any account number, the primary currency has already been selected, as we have selected the subsidiary above. So terms, like terms, under the terms we are having the options of installment, net 15, net 30, net 60 and all. So if we want to provide any terms, like any time period we want to select, we can select it. Credit limit, if we want to assign any credit limit to this vendor, we can mention it over here. And if we go further down, this is the information regarding the tax information and balance information, like opening balance for this vendor and its date, and which account has been affected for this opening balance, we can provide it. This is the project relating information. Vendor bill matching, that will be our next concern. This is not being taken. These are all the these are not the mandatory fields. So you can see their currency has already been here, GBP. So after making all these things, we will click on the save tab in order to save this vendor. We have to provide at least one address over here. You can see that the country has already been here, addressee is here. So we have to mention the address. So you can see as I have added the address, so it is visible under the default shipping address. Now we can click on Save tab. So here we can see that our vendor has been successfully saved. Vendor ID is given over here along with the vendor's name. So this is how we can create a vendor. If we want to have a look of this vendor, we will go under the list. Here you can see that the vendor that we have created just now is visible under our list. Its category is here, subsidiary, and we have not provided any contact. And the remaining information we will be having under it. If we want to view it, we will click on view. So here you can see that the information has been given under the vendor's record. Subsidiary is here, BISP UK HQ. You can see the address is here. We have not provided any relationship or communication. Address is here, which is for default shipping. So this is all about the vendor record creation. So our next concern is how can we create a vendor record? So how can we add a contact under the vendor record? So why do we need a contact to be added to the vendor record? Just to make the communication easy. It helps if we add any contact. If a contact is there for that particular vendor, so it makes the communication process easy. Usually, a contact is created for the vendor to record vendor record to let the user see the details of the concerned contact person. So for that, we will be going under the. We do not have to go into the list. A vendor page is already a vendor record is already been here. So we will be going under this plus tab. You can see under create new. We will click on contact. So we have to provide some, you can see a contact window has opened up before us. First, we will provide the salutation for whether it is a Miss or Mr. Like name, I am taking here. Company name, you can already be, you can see that it is already been here. If we want to provide any role or job title to this particular person, we can provide it. Email address, we will, I will mention here the phone number only. If we want to provide any facts, you can see the subsidiary has already been here. Under the relationship sub tab, if we want to provide any supervisors or assistant name, we can provide it. Under the address, you can see the default billing and shipping is already checked in over here. The address is here, so we do not have to mention all these things. Um Only the you can see that as I have provided the name over here, it has reflected in the contact tab. So after doing this, we will click on save. And now you can see that the contact has been saved under this vendor. So for having record of this transaction, record of this contact, we will be going back to the list. As we have added a contact in this vendor, so we will click on view. So where can we have the contact information? We will be going under the relationships. You can see that the contact that we have selected for Michael Howard, you can see its company name is here. The information regarding the Michael Howard is here. His phone number is here. So this is all for how can we add a contact under the vendor records. How can we view this contact? If we want to make a edit of it, we can click on edit. So we can add as many contact as we want relating to any particular vendor. So it will be added accordingly. So this is how we can add our vendor record in the NetSuite application, and how can we further add some new contacts basically for communication purpose in the NetSuite application. That's all from my side. In case of any questions and queries, you can write to us at www.bispsolutions.com. Thank you.